Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Weekly and this is my farewell discussion post. Endurance produces character. I believe that would highlight my experience so far at LPU, and although I still have a few classes to complete before I graduate, which will likely be in the spring of next year, I have learned a lot about what endurance through the process is like, and I am grateful and aware of how that has transformed my character, how I view the process of transformation, how I understand the value of slowing down and digesting and digging in, and perseverance. There have been many moments where I was just not sure where I was going to find the time or energy to complete the task that I needed to complete. As far as thank yous in class and people that I've had experiences with, being virtual, it's a little bit different and not everybody is always in the same courses, but consistently in my classes, I think that Azariah has always given such incredible feedback, thoughtful, encouraging, and supportive, and I'm very grateful for that. And Yakara is consistently stretching me in ways through her responses to think of things differently, and I'm just really grateful for that. And Anthony also always has such thoughtful and in-depth, biblically sound posts that really encourage me to dig in and look at things a little bit differently. I know there are so many other people, but those are on the top of my mind. Some people I would like to thank for the way they've contributed to my understanding of the topics throughout the courses, as well as a great example of who God is revealing himself to be through all of this. One of my favorite things has been the prayer and praise posts and getting to see what's happening, because in the midst of all of our education, we're still living our real life. And so the opportunity to maybe not physically, but to truly walk alongside each other and encourage and support has been great. And although I did not get to thank everyone who prayed for my son in his surgery, recovery was a little bit more difficult than we anticipated, but he is finally back and up, being his normal 6-year-old self. And so that I also not only was able to give but receive in that, and I'm grateful. I also want to thank my husband and my kids. This has also been their journey of school. While they make space for me to study, to read, to have quiet time, to post videos uninterrupted, and to dig in, and the conversations I've been able to have and the way it's changed interactions within my home have also been really great. And one thing that did happen through all this was the church I attend did become an LPU micro campus. And so in that, I do get a little bit of an opportunity to have in-person interaction with classmates. I haven't had a ton of classes with the people in my church. I'm kind of in a different lane as far as where I'm at and nearing graduation and the courses I've already had. But it's been great to get to meet with them, to encourage each other, send a text about where we're at this week and how things are going, and just really encourage each other along the path. Also, my pastors have been so good about walking alongside us and encouraging us and making this more than education, but the real life application and the relevancy to what we're doing. Me personally, I'm not currently in ministry, so I'm not like running a ministry. I work in ministry, but to take these moments and to understand that everything we have right now has value, that God is using it in a way that we probably don't even understand all the time, but that right now there's relevancy and importance in what I'm learning and how I'm translating that and what I'm sharing with others. And I'm very grateful for their interaction with us. One of the most important lessons I feel like I've learned throughout my time, and I'm still eager for the other lessons to come, would be the understanding of identity. Growing up as a biracial woman, I struggled and have continued to struggle with my idea of identity and what that really means. I have a white mother, I had a black father, and I never really knew where I fit in the mix of all the things. And so who I am has always been a question I was never quite sure how to answer. And so Ephesians 2:10 has really become a cornerstone verse for me to understand that I am God's masterpiece and that he has created me anew in Christ Jesus so that I can do the good things he planned for me long ago. And in that, it has transformed how I view who I am, what my identity really is. I'm a citizen of heaven. My name is Amanda, and I have been chosen and called by name. And throughout my experience at LPU, identity and understanding who and what we're rooted in, although I understood that to some degree before I came here, the real educational and intellectual digging into that has been invaluable to prepare me for what I want to do and what I feel called to do. And so one of the big ways that that was revealed to me was in Acts 16, verses 1-3, where Paul lets Timothy know he needs to be circumcised. And so he had a Jewish mother, Timothy did, and a Greek father, and he was already well respected by the people in his community. But this was important for Timothy to be accepting of his identity as a Jewish man. And so understanding that there is value in acknowledging all parts. So culturally, obviously that was a personal connection, but equally important for our experiences, for the diversity that we will see in the walks of life, in the issues that people have, in the passions that they're pursuing, and the spiritual gifts that we're blessed with. All of that, there is significant value in acknowledging the whole person and valuing the pieces that they bring to the table. And so for me, as I get closer to graduation, and as I feel that God is continuing to reveal to me the type of ministry he is preparing me for, and the community and the struggles that I will meet people in, understanding that there is value in the whole person, in all the experiences, in all of the moments that have made them who they are. I could not really understand that until I was able to look at myself and see the value of all of my experiences and understand that who and where I came from, I needed to have appreciation and acceptance of all of that, even if in my past there had been rejection and confusion attached to some pieces of who I thought I was. And I'm just grateful for the way that we have dug so deeply into the value of diversity and the reality that we serve a global God, that his passion for people and for diversity and language and culture and art and his creative works have been drawn all over existence, and that my education and my foundational preparation for ministry is built in a understanding that there is something so beautiful about the differences we are all bringing to the table. And so those are really the biggest things that I have taken away so far. I also really am grateful for, however uncomfortable it was, the opportunity to practice speech. I think I still have a long way to go, but I sense that God is going to provide lots of opportunities for me to continue to develop that skill. The conversations that have taken place in discussion have really given me an excitement and a curiosity for topics that I have not really dug into on my own. And it's also helped me to see the different ways that many of us are going to walk out being his hands and his feet. And in in general, I'm very excited for what God has planned for all of my classmates that I have been walking this journey out with. You all bring such incredible insight, compassion, patience, grace to the conversation and to the table. And our worlds and communities are so hungry for people who are interested in valuing individuals and being seen and known. And I just know that God is preparing to do an incredible work through each of us. And so thank you for walking alongside me in this journey. Have a great day.